Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. I know this video is coming out a few days late. I try to get the monthly recap videos out on the first day of every new month. However, there were a couple of things that I wanted to wrap up before I put this out, and so I wanted to take advantage of getting those included in this monthly recap. Hope you'll forgive me, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. So it's October and it's time to recap everything that happened in September, which was quite a lot if I do say so myself. I'm super excited to talk about everything that happened and also look towards the future as well, because there's a lot in October going on as well, but we'll get to that part in a minute. Let's start off with the most recent thing that happened in September. Guys, if you missed the live that I did with Tiffany, Becca, and Teresa, you have got to go back and watch that video. It was a fun live stream that we did. We started doing this thing that's kind of like a seasonal event where the four of us get together and we work on a project. The first one we did was over on Tiffany's channel. We all had the layer cake of line work from Tula Pink, and so we all created projects using that layer cake. This time though, I changed things up and I chose some fabric to send to them, but I didn't tell them what the fabric was. In fact, I didn't even let them open the fabric until the time of the live stream, so they had no idea what they were going to be working with. So during the live stream, they were able to open their packages, find out what the material was, and then figure out what project they were working on. And yeah, I did sneak a little surprise in there for them to open up whenever they opened up their packages. So if you missed it, I highly recommend going back and watching that video. I'll put a link to it up in the iCards and down in the description below. But it was a lot of fun, really enjoyed it, and they enjoyed their little surprise that they got. I did a little short showing the reaction to the plastic, it was fake, the plastic cockroach that I put into their package. It was hilarious. I loved their reactions. Go back and watch it. It's hilarious. But we all did different things, and the ladies decided to make bags. In fact, all three of them decided to make bags out of the fabric that I sent to them. I'm the only one working on a quilt this time, so that's a little interesting to me that everybody else decided to do bags and I decided to do a quilt. But hey, it was free and open for them to choose whatever project they wanted to work on, and I can't wait to see all the bags finished. Tiffany has already finished hers. Becca has finished hers, and I think Teresa is almost done with hers. So make sure to go check out their channel and see the completed projects. For my project, I decided to use the striped Tula Pink fabric to make some of the stars in the Atomic Starburst quilt pattern, and I am using some Storybook Halloween fabric. It is a Free Spirit fabric from, oh, I can't remember her name. It is Rachel Hayer, I think is maybe how you pronounce it. Not 100% sure, but this fabric is perfect Halloween fabric, and I think the green, purple, and orange of the Tula Pink stripes are going to be perfect for the Starburst in the Atomic Starburst quilt. Can't wait to put it all together. I think I'm going to end up using some of the extra fabric that I have from cutting out the diamond patterns. I think I'm going to use that fabric to make the quilt bigger, add some more sizing to it, because, you know, I'm a tall person, 6'2", so I like to have big quilts, and I definitely am wanting to keep this one. I do not want to give this one away. I'm not even sure if I'm going to put it into shows or not, but I definitely want to keep this as a Halloween quilt for myself. So that's what I'm going to be doing with my portion of the fabric, and I can't wait to see it come to fruition. Speaking of Halloween projects, I've also worked on projects from the Halloween Boo box that I received from Open Gate Quilts. This was the first time getting that box. In fact, I think this was the first time ever to get a Halloween Boo box, because Monique, I think she said that this was the first time she put out a Halloween box. Anyways, if you haven't seen the unboxing for that, I will put a link to it up in the iCards and down in the description below. It was a fun video to make, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already seen it. And there are 4 projects included in that box, and then I was able to squeeze out a fifth fifth project, I don't know why I was trying to go 6. Anyways, I made a 5th project out of some leftover pieces in that box. One of the projects that was included was a candy tote. So I did make the candy tote from the box, really fun project. There was also a table runner, which I made the table runner. And then there were some leftover squares from the mini charm packs included, and I made 2 pot holders using those extra pieces and some black fabric that I had laying around. So I was able to squeeze out that extra project, and I love that. I've also been working on the My Queen quilt. Try saying that 5 times fast. That was included in that box as well. This time though, I have been working on that project strictly using Sylvia. If you don't know who Sylvia is, she is my featherweight, my 1948 featherweight, and I've never pieced an entire quilt using that machine. So I wanted to challenge myself to use just Sylvia in order to put that quilt together. I've been doing those on my Sunday lives, so make sure to go check out those videos. It is getting close to being done. I'm almost there. In fact, I'm hiding it. I'm hiding it back behind here. So you can see that I've almost completed the quilt. I just need to put all the pieces together, and I will be doing those on a live during October, so make sure to check that out. There's one project left from that Halloween Boo box after I complete the My Queen quilt, and I don't know if I'm going to get to it in October or not. So make sure to stick to my channel and find out if I do manage to get to it before the end of the month. Also, during the month of September, I've been working very diligently on Margot the Boxer. That is the Legit Kits kit that I received from them, and I've been working really hard to get that done and completed. I usually work on several projects at a time. I bounce from one project to another so I don't get fatigued on one project, but I've kind of put off Margot for a while. It is a foundation paper pieced kit, and so sometimes the blocks can be pretty complex, and because of that, sometimes I just don't want to sew on it. So I've kind of been letting it slip through the cracks and working on other projects, but I told myself I needed to get it done if I wanted to start another quilt project. So I have really worked diligently during the month of September to get it finished, and my goal is to get it done by the end of October. I have completed, if you join me October 1st, we worked together on a 7-hour and 35-minute live stream. That was a long live stream, but there was one final block in Margot the Boxer that I needed to finish, and I knew it was going to take me a long time, so I said, why not fire up the live stream and let's just work on it together for however long it takes, and boy, howdy, that is the longest live stream ever in the history of my channel. I love it. I'm glad that I got it done. And now I just need to take all of the pieces of Margot and sew them together into one quilt so that it will be done and completed. Almost there, but still got a little more work to do. And yes, of course, I'll link to that live stream. If you want to turn it on and sew with me, if you want some company for 7 hours and 35 minutes, turn it on, sit in your sewing room, and let's sew together. Now, like I said, I've been working diligently on Margot the Boxer, but there were just points that I needed a palette cleanser. Sometimes I just wanted to sew, but I didn't want to work on Margot. I wanted something quick, easy, some simple wins that I could get and be able to say I've at least accomplished something. So I took that time and I made some blocks using some of the scrap fabric that I have left over from the Curiouser and Curiouser line when Tula Pink did her Mad Hatter Tea Party quilt. I have so many scraps left over, and so I organized all those scraps into different size squares and different size stripes, and I took some time to make some palette cleansing blocks, as I like to call them. Basically just some easy blocks that I could sew, sit down, sew, work on, get them done, and they're simple and easy wins that I feel much better about. I can progress a little bit more on this quilt, and it's going to be a super scrappy one. In fact, I'm thinking about calling this quilt, when I finally start piecing it all together, I think I'm going to end up calling it my Hot Mess Express because it looks like a hot mess with all these blocks looking completely different. I've heard different terms like I Spy quilt and just puzzling quilt and all sorts of different things. That's what this quilt is going to be. It's going to be a mishmash, hodgepodge, crazy Hot Mess Express of all these different fabrics, and I think it'll look pretty cool when it's all said and done, but it's going to be interesting figuring out how to piece all of these pieces together because a lot of them are different sizes, so I'm going to have to do some work on figuring out how to piece that together, but I'm not there yet. Right now I'm just having fun making those blocks, and they were a perfect palette cleanser when I wasn't working on Margot the Boxer. Some other projects that I worked on, I of course worked on the clues for Village Green and Carnival. I almost forgot the name for half a second. I'm trying to juggle both of these quilts at the same time. It's hard to do that, do the mental gymnastics sometimes to keep them all straight, but worked on both the Puzzle Mystery quilts from Cotton Cuts. We are so very close to finding out what it looks like for Village Green. And remember that that one gets unveiled at the first part of November. So next month, we get to find out what Village Green looks like. And I cannot wait to see what all the different colorways look like because I have a feeling this one's going to be pretty spectacular. And I hope to be a part of that big reveal when Cotton Cuts does the big reveal at the beginning of November. So make sure to stay tuned to Cotton Cuts social media and find out when that big reveal is going to happen, and hopefully you'll see me there. Something else that happened this month, I almost forgot about it in fact, was I picked up a Singer 301 machine from a consignment store. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace and it was at a pretty good price that I just couldn't pass up. So I went and picked it up from the store, and I am so excited to own a 301. Haven't named it yet. She's going to be the sister of my Sylvia, but I haven't figured out a good name yet. She does need a little TLC. I've already started the process of working on doing some refurbishment, like putting new feet on her, putting a new bobbin winder wheel on, and a couple of things like that. I've also replaced the pedal, so I worked on replacing the pedal wires because the wires for the pedal were starting to get a little degraded. So it was time to replace those, and I feel pretty accomplished that I was able to replace them myself. I had to put her down. She's heavy. She's light, but she's heavy. She's heavy. So I'm excited to have the 301, and it does need a little bit of TLC. I need to make sure that it gets cleaned up and just maintenanced to make sure that she runs smoothly and well. And I've also got to figure out all the oiling that needs to happen, because there's a lot of oiling that happens when you're working with a featherweight or a 301. Lots needs to be done when it's time to oil. But anyways, super excited to have her, and I think I'm looking into research about painting because I would love to get a paint job done for her. She's got some wear and tear on her a little bit, and I think a fresh coat of paint would be a great way to spruce her up and bring her some new life. So I'm looking into the possibility of getting her repainted. More to come on that as it happens, but so excited to add her to my collection and can't wait to see what projects we'll work on with her and find out a new name for her. Well, she doesn't have a name, so a name in general for her. Hopefully I can figure out a good one that fits. So when I list everything out, it doesn't seem like it was a lot, but trust me, there was a lot going on this month with some of the quilty projects that I've been working on. I also am excited because I'm going to go see my quilt in the State Fair of Texas. As y'all remember from last time, we talked about my quilt winning second place in the State Fair of Texas, and I get to go see it in the show, in the actual fair itself. I don't know if it's a show or a fair, or anyways, I get to go see it hanging on display, and I've already had someone say that they saw it, and I can't wait to see it with my very own eyes. It's going to be so exciting. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the crazy Quiltmas sew along that I'm going to be doing here on my channel. You won't want to miss that. I am going to be doing a sew along in November. This is a perfect opportunity if you need one last quilt that you can sit down and sew with me and we'll get a project done. I've already released a video for what that's going to look like. You can check out that video up in the iCards and down in the description below. Make sure to go check that out. We can sew together. The best part about this quilt project, the whole reason I chose this pattern specifically is because there are no seams to match up. It is all about just putting it together in whatever fashion you want to make it. And I think this is going to be a perfect project to get done during the month of November. So that way by the beginning of December, you'll have a quilt top ready to go, ready to be quilted, and hopefully you'll get it under the tree before the end of the month. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to join me for Crazy Quiltmas Sew Along. You won't want to miss that. So as you can see, lots going on in September. More to come in October and November. I can't even think about December. That's just too far away with everything that's going to be going on between now and then. Lots to come and a lot more surprises to come as well. Make sure to stay tuned to my channel. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. And I think there may be some giveaways coming down the pipe as well. So like I said, stay tuned, subscribe, and make sure you watch those videos because you're not going to want to miss some of the things that are coming later this year. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember guys, normal is just a setting on the dryer. Bye.